It's no surprise to anyone that Fu Xuan is an amazing character and provides a lot of great sustain for pretty much, any team that you run her on. But I've also been hearing people say that because of the way Fu Xuan operates with reducing the damage that the team takes, as well as her E2, people have been saying that she's starting to, replace Bailu. But I want to talk about today, as someone who's been using Bailu since very early in the game in 1.0, why Bailu is not fully replaced by Fu Xuan. Especially, even if you do have Fu Xuan, because I've still been using my Bailu a bunch, even after getting Fu Xuan. So I'm going to go into why that is today. So first I want to start out with what aspects that both characters provide, and then I want to go into what makes Bailu unique. So to start out with what Bailu and Fu Xuan both do, they both have two abilities, one of them being way more important than the other one. So to start out with that one, is that they can reduce the damage that the party takes. So Fu Xuan does this through the use of her skill, the Matrix of Prescience, where all damage that is taken by allies is reduced to it's reduced to a set amount and given to a set amount to Fu Xuan, so that your allies won't take as much damage, and then your Fu Xuan, who's going to have a very high HP, is going to be able to take more of that damage for herself. Whereas for Bailu's damage reduction comes from her invigoration status that she can apply through her technique and through the use of her ultimate. And this is really good because not only will it provide damage reduction if you have her highest ascension trace activated, but also it will provide for, I believe it's up to 3 hits. When you get hit, you will heal a certain amount that scales off of Bailu's HP. So that will also be very good for just reducing the damage that the party takes and just keeping your characters alive for longer. Then the other thing they do, which honestly doesn't end up being as important, and especially not for Fu Xuan because it's locked behind an Eidolon. Both characters do have the ability to revive allies once per battle. Now for Fu Xuan, it's locked behind her E2, which a lot of free-to-play players probably will not have. I got lucky and got her E1, which I think is way more beneficial than the E2. But Fu Xuan's revive, while it only does work one time, if multiple enemies die from the same attack, she can revive all of them in that one instance. Whereas for Bailu can only ever revive one character. Now this isn't the biggest thing in the world, but I did want to bring it up as well because it is a part of both of their kits. So now I want to go into what makes Bailu unique, and what makes Bailu still very viable. So in terms of just raw healing, Bailu does have one of the highest healing in the game. I do think the only character that is above her in terms of the amount she can heal to the team is Luocha, because Luocha's healing is just absolutely ridiculous. And also her damage reduction is based on her ultimate as opposed to her skill. So sure, while for Fu Xuan, she doesn't use too many skill points because you only use her skill once every 3 turns. But for Bailu, because it's based on her ultimate, for 1, you don't have to rely on using your skill. And then for 2, typically Bailus are built with an energy regen rope, so they are able to just get their ultimate a bit faster with the energy regen, and they can focus on using their basic attack just to preserve skill points for the team. And then if you really need to use Bailu's skill heal, you can. But I think ideally for Bailu, you do want to have that energy regen rope because it's going to help you get that ultimate faster and keep your damage reduction up for as much as possible. So overall, I think if you don't have many sustain characters, then I do think that Bailu can be a very solid option. Now I know people are going to ask, they're going to be like, oh, what, there's no cleanser. If you have Bailu, you're not going to have a cleanser. Or, oh, Bailu doesn't have cleanse. Like, what do I do about that? There are, a couple characters here and there, like Bronya, for example, that have cleanse that aren't like abundance characters. If you do need a cleanser, then, sure, you can run Natasha because you do have her for free. But if you already do have a cleanser, or, you don't have, as many like sustains, like if you're like me and prior to Fu Xuan's release you didn't have a single preservation character built, Bailu is still very solid for keeping your team alive. You might run into some annoying circumstances if you don't have a cleanser, but we do get a cleanser for free in Natasha, so if you're running stages that have a lot more debuffs, you could probably prioritize her. Or if you pulled links while you were trying to pull for Fu Xuan, you could prioritize them. But if you just need, raw survivability and you didn't get Fu Xuan, or if you have Fu Xuan and you need more survivability for your other team, Bailu is still an amazing option. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you all think about Bailu now that Fu Xuan has been out for a little bit. I did make a video about Bailu previously, a bit less than a month ago from when I'm recording this. And I do think that, my opinion is that pretty much still stands. I do think Bailu is still going to be very solid. But, we'll see the direction that the game takes in terms of, endgame content as, more characters come out and they, change, and especially with more regions come out, we get more enemies. But with that, I'm going to end it off here. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, definitely be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. But with that, I will see you all next time.